All right, it is main event time, Jim Fannin. A huge match.
Before we get into the main event, Dragon Sleeper was the official knockout of the Necro Butcher. I spoke with Bryce Rensburg. Low-key put him into the Dragon Sleeper. Necro couldn't answer the count.
Okay.
Bryce had no choice but to call the match. Wow. And I'm going to go on record as saying that was the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
While you were getting that information, I proclaimed it. Everyone talks about Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher. That match has been eclipsed. What we just saw, that was amazing. That's the only way to say it. But we have a huge main event here. A bit of a different pace than what we just witnessed. But nonetheless, Chris Hero with his new attitude. I don't know what has come over him. We saw him earlier tonight. Cost Trick Davis a world title shot.
There's been a lot of changes with Hero since his attitude readjustment, if you will, at the Ted Petty. He's almost completely changed his wrestling style, and he's nothing like the wrestler that I managed back in 2001. He's nothing like the wrestler that had that series of matches with CM Punk that covered 2001, 2002, 2003. And tonight, he may have to resort to that hero of old because he's in the ring with one of the best in the world.
Absolutely. You know you're a big-time deal when you're in the main event in your IWA Mid-South debut. And Milano Collection AT is a big deal. Jim Fannin, I've talked about it on the message boards, but this is the first time I'm going to get a chance to see Milano. And I actually waited. I didn't go check out the tapes. I wanted to see this guy for myself for the first time with my own two eyes. So I have got goosebumps waiting to see Milano Collection AT.
I've never seen him before either. I had to go to the airport to pick him up. He is like, get the tall Japanese guy that looks like a wrestler.
Okay.
Luckily, there was only one Japanese guy at the airport when I pulled up. I could have an imposter here, and I wouldn't even know. But I pulled up, he had a black eye, some tape over his eyes. I was like, it's gotta be him.
Yeah, it's gotta be him. It is him. Milano Collection AT is here at IWA Mid-South. Of course, has trained in Japan, has trained in Mexico. He's trained with Skida, also a trainer and a mentor to Chris Hero. These two very familiar with one another. This is their first go-around, so to speak.
Well, even though they're familiar with each other, Milano was nothing but questions the entire way here in the car ride. He was like, I've asked around. People said you used to manage Hero. What can you tell me about Hero? Give me some insight on Hero. And I don't know how much he understood what I was telling him, but I was giving him some information. You know, call me disloyal to Chris Hero, but the man hasn't done a whole lot for me to want to help Chris Hero here of late.
Of course, you notice the invisible dog that Milano brings with him. He calls that MCAvCH. MCAvCH, I believe is how you pronounce it.
An invisible dog.
Yes.
This is our main event of the afternoon. It is scheduled for one fall with a 1 hour time limit. Your referee, Bryce Rensburg. Introducing first from Metropolis, Chris Hero.
New gear from Hero.
Yeah, looking fancy.
And his opponent from San Antonio, Texas, Milano Collection AT.
The streamers of appreciation for Milano Collection AT in his IWA Mid-South debut.
Do people realize how much of a pain in the ass those are to clean up?
Horseshit, that's what that is.
They don't care, I don't think.
And Hero doesn't like it either. And Hero's not the one that's got to clean this shit up.
All right, Hero jaw-jacking with the fans. Milano, you can see starting to get concentrated here. We are underway, opening bell. Here we go. The main event, IWA Mid-South, We're No Joke. Milano Collection AT versus Chris Hero. As you pointed out, Jim, we haven't seen any cravats. No heroes welcome. None of the signatures of Chris Hero. We haven't seen them, and it's because maybe he's been wrestling Trick Davis and Merrick Brave, guys he feels are beneath him that he doesn't have to pull out his very best. I tell you this, I guarantee you he'll have to pull out all the stops and all the bags in his tricks in his bag, excuse me, in order to beat Milano Collection AT.
Well, you know, that strategy hasn't really been working all that well for him. He lost to Eric Cannon. He's lost to Trick Davis.
Well, the last time he wrestled Trick Davis, he nearly killed the poor kid in an Iron Man match. We saw him earlier tonight. Still not done with Trick Davis. Beautifully done.
Now, he wants to make sure that Trick Davis never has a title shot, that Trick Davis is never in the Ted Petty, that Trick Davis is...
He's out to ruin the kid's career. Let's call it what it is. These two so evenly matched, their styles so similar, their influences so similar.
Yeah, but as you had mentioned, though, we may not see that kind of hero here tonight. You know, it was that kind of hero that led to the Highland Curse.
Sure.
You know, and called for where the fans were calling for a more aggressive Chris Hero. They were calling him a loser.
Yeah.
He was getting booed.
Yeah.
When he was the flagship of IWA.
Yeah, he was the face of IWA, if you will, for a long time. And then Ted Petty Invitational 2005, he loses to Eric Cannon in the semifinals, and he just snapped. There's no other way to call it. Chris Hero absolutely lost his mind when he lost that night in Hammond, Indiana.
Well, because he had owned Eric Cannon in the matches, you know, and then in the spotlight and the biggest show of the year in IWA, he loses, and you know it had to be going through his mind another curse.
Sure,
you know, the curse had moved from Highland to Hammond. Maybe it wasn't just a Highland curse, maybe it was an IWA curse, and it was too much for him to. It was just too much for him to take.
Really, we are looking at two of the best wrestlers in the world in Chris Hero and Milano Collection AT. Hero thought he had gotten the upper hand there and maybe outsmarted Milano, but Milano right back to the headlock takeover.
Well, Hero used good athleticism, and it was a good counter to get out of that hold. But then he showboated and he got arrogant, and that is not the Hero that we've known since he came here in 2000.
Absolutely right. Milano Collection AT, an Italian supermodel, is Milano Collection AT.
Is that what he is?
Yes, he is. Chris Hero able to grab the ropes. Of course, Milano Collection AT going to be looking for that AT lock, his submission finisher. We also, I'm hopeful to see the Armani shoe exchange. Yeah, Armani shoe exchange. Also, we'll maybe see the rope paradise. I'm hoping we get to see all of the signatures.
If we see any of that, please tell me that that's what that is.
I'll point it out. I
don't know what any of it is.
Yeah, I'll point it out to you. Still at a kind of a stalemate at this point.
Well, it's still the opening moments, the feeling out process. You have that in every Chris Hero matchup.
His style is certainly to slow it down. He wants to out-wrestle his opponent in every sense of the word. And now, look at that. Cover, roll up. Milano getting some momentum going. And wait a minute, Chris Hero catches him. Full Nelson now.
Now the Hero of old would be in a cravat right now.
Yeah.
He'd probably be in his third cravat of the match right now.
And now takes him over. Again, we'd even see, like you said, a cravat in this situation. It was such a staple of Chris Hero's offense. You have to wonder why he hasn't gone back to those staples. But again, it's a new Chris Hero.
He's a star now.
That he is.
Or at least his ass is a star, or three of them.
Hero And now, step over STF.
Maybe the advice I was giving Milano on the way here is working well for him.
You are the most accomplished manager in IWA history. You know what you're talking about. Milano now all the way over onto his feet. Is going for the roll-up. Chris Hero able to hold on to the top rope. The pace starting to quicken here now. Ah, Chris Hero. I see. He thought he outsmarted Milano, but really it turns out Milano outsmarted him.
I cannot believe this version of Chris Hero that we're seeing. You know, the Chris Hero of old would never have fallen for that.
And now look at this. Tying up Chris Hero in the bottom rope. This might be that rope paradise. He ties him up, and then a drop kick. I don't know, Milano distracted Bryce Remsburg. And now Chris Hero, he's all tied up, he can't get out. Milano now.
Mark it, set, go.
Oh, drop kick right into the ribs.
And there's not as much padding on those ribs of Chris Hero as there used to be.
Absolutely not. Milano hits a signature.
Do those fans on the back wall know Japanese?
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe. Milano certainly is able to get the momentum in this match, and Chris Hero now going to be on the run.
You can't outrun Superman.
And Chris Hero lured him
His
in.
girlfriend told me he's faster than a speeding boat.
Oh! Whoa! And now Chris Hero, he caught himself, was able to land on his feet, but momentum may have carried him all the way over to the floor.
Words come in, Ben Jordan, that we broke the 400 mark here tonight.
Yes. Fantastic news. One of the biggest events in IWA Mid-South history, and I'll be damned if it hasn't lived up.
So as I had said earlier, it might live up to be the largest crowd since the first Morris Mayhem show, and it has done that.
Bryce looking for someone. Hero, I think, may have injured himself when he went over the top rope.
That's very possible. Although, I don't trust Chris Hero.
Bryce, of course, a longtime friend up until recently of Chris Hero, showing some compassion. Now, what a shame it would be if Chris Hero was unable to continue.
Yes, that would just be such a tremendous shame.
Well, I mean, I want to see a great match, and it would be a shame to not get the chance to see Milano Collection AT get to wrestle an entire match. I mean, this is our main event of the evening. You never want to see a guy get hurt, but it might be in the best interest of Chris Hero.
See, but I'm looking to do karaoke after this, and Chris Hero could wrestle for 4 hours if he's healthy. So injury could be a good thing here.
Chris Hero, obviously. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no. You said it. You called it from a mile away. Chris Hero not hurt as we originally thought.
Well, you see, there is one
Hero's
thing that I've learned in life. The world is not fair. There is no justice. So after what Hero did to Trick Davis tonight, I knew that there was no way that he had gotten what he deserved and was injured.
That's true. I fell for it. I thought he was legitimately hurt. Chris Hero, though, had us all fooled, except for, well, some of us fooled, I guess I should say.
He had Milano fooled.
And that was the most important person, really.
That's all you got to worry about fooling. Fool the foreign guy. That's not fair. The only foreign guy in IWA that should be fooled is Jan.
And Milano firing up here. And Chris Hero puts the brakes on with a poke to the eye. 1, 2, 3. Hero now brings Milano back to his feet. Right hand right on the ear.
And Hero has some of the hardest clubbing forearms in wrestling.
The 2005 Strong Style Tournament champion, Chris Hero. So you know he can strike with the best of them. And now, running back senton. 2. Just a 2.
Was that a stomp on the arm?
I believe so. One more time. And the crowd.
Why does Hero have to be such an ass?
No one knows. No one knows. If I could explain it, I guess I would be the smartest man in the world. Oh, and he just launches Milano out to the floor.
We're outside now. 2. What you got? What you got, Milano? How about you're Italian? You know Tracy Smothers? 3.
Tracy Smothers.
That's another influence on the career of Chris Hero.
Tracy Smothers has been an influence on everybody's career that's come through the IWA.
And now Hero just stalking Milano. Of course, the last time these two had a singles match, it was last fall in Chikara. Chris Hero was able to defeat Milano Collection AT with a low blow. But of course, Milano was able to get a victory and eliminate Chris Hero from the Cibernetico in Chikara with that AT lock. So we know that both men know what it's like to defeat the other. Knows what it takes. Oh! And Milano.
That's some aggression.
Yeah.
I think he's a little pissed off about being tricked earlier.
And now a running start. Oh! Drop kick right in the face. And that's going to bring this Midlothian crowd to their feet. And rightfully so. Beautiful. Milano now looking to take advantage.
Well, it didn't bring everybody to their feet. I think the girls are a little shy to be getting on their feet after we suggested they take their clothes off and throw in the towel for next.
Oh! Hero able to catch Milano with a drop kick off the top.
That's a whole lot of ass to be dropping double knees onto Milano like that.
Without a doubt. Chris Hero in control here.
Fans getting on Chris Hero with the Monkey Boy chant. That started in Charlestown 2001, and Hero did not like being called a Monkey Boy at all.
Wow, very creative move there from Chris Hero. Not able to get the pin, however. Hero so methodical in everything he does. Thinking, he's always trying to think, you know, not just one or two moves ahead, with 5 to 10 moves ahead. He wants to try to be ahead of his opponent. But now, oh, headbutt right in the jaw.
Big kicks out of Hero. You know, Hero's kicks are almost as hard as his forearms.
Hero, since that drop kick on Milano off the top rope, he has been in control. Hero, you can hear him saying he wants to slow it down even more. Milano, though, fights to his feet. Kick in the stomach. And Hero with a right hand right in the solar plexus.
Again, tricking the foreign guy.
Chris Hero here in IWA Mid-South has been impressive as of late, but he has not been wrestling someone quite the caliber of Milano Collection AT, but he's really imposing his will on Milano at this point. Milano is in desperate need of a flurry of offense here. He needs to get an advantage back in this match.
You know, Hero's used every shortcut that he possibly can to get the advantage in this match. And, you know, I think Milano was expecting honest, on the up and up wrestling match when he got here tonight. And
a little bit of fighting spirit here from Milano. Oh, beautiful matrix. Oh! Whoa! He knocked Chris Hero into next week.
I don't know why they're stopping, but it sure ain't in the name of love. He just kicked him right in the ear.
Yes, he did, as hard as he could. Milano. This crowd clearly behind Milano Collection AT. They would love to see him victorious here in his IWA Mid-South debut. Repeated knife edge chops. Goes to reverse him off. Oh! Flying clothesline. Oh! Back senton of his own. And now Milano Collection AT climbs the ropes. Beautiful crossbody. 1, 2. No! Chris Hero able to get the shoulders off the mat.
You know, Hero's a big guy. It's going to take a lot to hold him down for 3 seconds. And right now, you know, Hero and Punk, they've wrestled 90 minutes. They've wrestled 60 minutes. You know, so Hero's got enough wind to where he can go the rest of the night if he had to. So you're going to have to do something big to hold him down to get this victory.
That's what Chris Hero likes to do. He wants to outlast his opponents. Beautiful neck breaker. 1, 2. No. Milano able to kick out. This crowd trying to rally behind Milano.
I think Hero's wasting way too much time here.
Really acting cocky here, and it may cost him. Oh, and now disrespectful slaps to the face. Oh, and now look at this. Beautiful flurry of slaps to the face of Chris Hero. And Hero tried to use their own move, that Matrix move himself. And this might be. Oh, look at that. He rolled him up into a ball. But Hero able to break free and get to the ropes.
Rolled him up into a ball to where Hero was sucking his own.
Come on, motherfucker!
I heard he was like that. I'm kidding, if he hears that. Oh, we've seen him use this Death Valley driver, but Bryce caught in the way. And now, this could be it. I believe that is the AT lock, if I'm not mistaken. Not quite. No, it's not.
I get Milano.
Not exactly the submission he's looking for. I know he uses an arm submission. I know that the AT lock is an arm submission. Forgive me for not knowing exactly what this submission looks like.
Well, I think he had Hero beat with it, whatever it was.
But Bryce Remsburg was knocked down.
And Bryce has been the only ref not to get pile drove or chased around the building with a stick.
Yeah. The IWA referees having a rough go of it here tonight.
Low blow!
Blatant low blow. Bryce. Now, Hero throws him down to look at the cover. 1, 2, 2. No! Bryce Remsburg. Still feeling the effects. Yeah, still feeling the effects of those that getting clipped in the back of the head.
Slow count, but that's a place where justice was served because it was Hero that caused the injury on Bryce.
Hero to his feet first.
You piece of shit. What?
Milano to his feet. I don't think Hero realizes it. Worrying too much about Bryce. Oh! Super kick. Caught him right on the chin. And this. Oh, there it is. The Armani shoe exchange. Oh, he's used that to beat people in the past. And now, here it is. This is the AT lock. He's got it in, cinched in the middle of the ring. You can hear the fans. They want to see Chris Hero tap out. The AT lock cinched in.
Was that a... I thought that might have been a tap there from Hero.
Hero reaching. Oh, roaring forearm. Milano fires up. Oh! Oh, running mafia kick.
I don't know about you, Ben Jordan, but I'm running at this point. If I kick a guy like that,
and he turns around and yells at me?
Yeah, he turns around and yells at me, I'm crapping myself, and then I'm leaving.
Chris Hero has used that torture crab finisher in recent months. It's obviously what he's looking for here.
And look at how badly he has him bent in half.
The torture crab has won Chris Hero a number of matches.
And it takes so much energy to fight your way out of that, and he can't do it.
And now Milano finally unable to kick out. Chris Hero is victorious here at We're No Joke. I want to thank everyone. For Jim Fannin, I am Ben Jordan. Please visit Smart Mark Home Video as well as IWAMidSouthWrestling.com.
Where are you going?